the legendary master of exporting Hawaii's plate lunch, the innovator of those yummy macadamia nut chocolate dip shortbread cookies, and the pioneer of in-supermarket bakeries and trendsetter for the farm-to-table concept in Hawaii. L&L Drive-In, Big Island Candies, and KTA Superstores. From humble beginnings to global expansion, these companies have transformed the way Hawaii does business. Join us as we meet inspiring CEOs on Founders and Visionaries next.
Founders and Visionaries is presented by Hawaii Business Magazine. You're watching Founders and Visionaries.
This is quite an impressive wall of honor you have behind you, but I have a confession to make. There might be a little bit of trouble between us here today. Because I know that you're a University of Hawaii grad.
I'm very proud to be a UH grad.
Yes, and you should be, but I see on your wall behind you, you got your master's at the University of Oklahoma. And I'm a UT Longhorn,
okay,
so I'm not sure if we can go on with this interview.
And the Sooners, we always beat UT in football.
We'll try not to think about that here today. But I'm very excited to sit down and talk to you. You have been a real fixture in our local community and a wonderful supporter of many causes. Tell me a little bit about what it was like growing up in Hawaii here.
Well, actually, I was born in Hong Kong. My dad, he's a Filipino. My mom is Chinese Pake, and she was born here. We came in '63, live in Palama. In fact, it was difficult for my dad because he's a Tagalog, and most of the Filipino here is they are Ilocanos, so he couldn't even communicate with them. I remember that. So I was signed up for McKinley High School, but then he told me that he couldn't find a job, and he said you have to live with your uncle in San Francisco. So regrettably, I didn't graduate from McKinley. I went to high school in San Francisco, but I miss my family so much I came back to Hawaii.
How did you get started in your first restaurant?
Well, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur from day one. And as soon as I graduated, I worked for one of the local banks to learn about business. You have to learn about business, you have to work for a big company. I always told myself. 2 years after I graduated from college, I actually started a real estate company, and I hired 12 employees, including my sister and my brother. No one wanted to work for me. I didn't know what I was doing. It's about 4 years after I started the company, I found this little restaurant for sale. And my mom was working at Patty's Kitchen. I asked her, would you like to have a restaurant? And she said yes. And I bought her the restaurant. I paid $26,000 for it, for the little restaurant called L&L Drive-In on Lily House Street. That's how we started.
And what year was that?
1976. And when she got tired of the restaurant, which is very hard to work in a restaurant, I called my good friend Johnson Camp to purchase our share. So he actually bought everything. He ran the restaurant. But then back in 1989, I saw him again and I said, hey, look, you're expanding. I see you open 2 or 3. Why don't you franchise it? It's easier to franchise. And he asked me to come back in to run the operations. In Hawaii, almost like 90% of the restaurants are owned by my employees. We sold it to them. After the restaurant, we run it, we started it, then we start selling to them. And they own it, we finance it. So to me, the employee is very important, and liking your job is very important. And having local support is very important too. I want to say mahalo to all the local people for supporting us.
Now, do you still have family members working with you?
Well, I have a boss, that's my wife.
You just scored big points with that one.
My daughter's helping me with the internet.
What are your visions for the future?
Well, I'm getting old now, so my vision is still to expand. We found out even when we opened up in the West Coast, we have tremendous business. We're doing very well. But then, when we moved past the West Coast, it was a real challenge, like in Texas, in fact, because they're not used to macaroni salad. People are not used to the 2 scoops of rice, so it's very difficult. So we started to change more now.
Are local mocos a hit everywhere?
Not really. Do you know what loco moco means?
I don't think I really do.
Okay. Well, in Spanish, loco means crazy.
Crazy, I knew that
part. Moco means booga.
Oh, whoa.
I don't know. I mean,
What have been your biggest challenges in the last couple of years?
When you move to California, especially, with the unemployment rate, that's a real challenge. Going through this recession. And I want to tell you, Hawaii, we've been very lucky. I think in 30-some years, we might have closed 2 stores. But in the mainland, it's a completely different story.
How important do you think it is to be involved in the community around you?
We have to help the community. Without the community, there is no L&L. Like I said, you don't like it, don't do it. I love to do it, and I will continue to offer my services for the community. Anyone need help? We help. When you make money, you have to give back. There is no other way. And what you give, you get 10 times back in return.
Lots of people have good ideas, but they don't get to where you are today. What's the difference in what you've done?
I think I'm pretty blessed being so creative. I didn't learn about marketing, and I do take a lot of risks, and I've been very blessed and fortunate. And the people being around me, helping me, that's to me very key. Without the staff, without my family support, none of these gonna happen. When I tell people I'm gonna retire, to me that's a joke. Well, the job you have is very important. If you like your job, you're ready to retire. For me, the day I die, that's the day I retire. The secret is you have to like what you're doing.
So you seem like a guy to me who doesn't accept no. You'll always find another way around to get there. You mentioned to me that you had some struggles through your years and even in college with education, but yet you pushed on, you got your master's.
To me, education is very important. In fact, both my parents have less than 6th grade education, but they knew education is really the key to our success. To me, you need to get an education, you have to go to college. I don't care what you're going to be. You want to be a cook, anything. You want to be a chef, you want to open a restaurant, and you do need the education to help you. You cannot give up. I never do good in college. I have failed a couple times in college. Maybe I have C average. I was not a bright student. If you want to excel, you try hard enough, you work hard, you will succeed. You just got to try. You don't try, take the risk, you'll never know what's going to happen. This is one of our top restaurants. I always like to come here, especially look at the food.
It looks delicious.
Man, it looks ono. We do a lot of promotion here. One is a 76 cents promotion.
Yeah.
Once a year we do it. It's Appreciation Day. All the money we make, we'll donate it to Goodwill Industry. We've been doing that for almost like 5, 6, 7 years now.
I know. Making me hungry back here.
Wow, here comes the food. I can smell it.
This is always my favorite part of the interview process.
Lunch.
Chicken katsu is my all-time favorite.
Wow, look at this kaupi. Really ono.